Are you always coming up with ideas? Do you marvel at successful business owners? Do you hate being told what to do? Ever take things apart just to see how they work? Are you a dreamer? If you've answered yes to any of these questions, this podcast is for you. Welcome to the Entrepreneurial Enclave with Kevin Wortham, the podcast that focuses on building, maintaining, pivoting, planning, and investing in you, the entrepreneur. But first, a word from our sponsor.
Pro Tapes and Specialties is the world leader in tape manufacturing and specialty conversion with over 40 years of experience. In addition to our pro brand of high-quality specialty adhesive tapes, we provide contract converting services that help improve your profitability, streamline your supply chain, and reduce inventory cost. We offer the most complete range of converting capabilities in the industry, such as cloth tape, double-coated tape, specialty tape, paper tape, masking tape,
vinyl tape, carton sealing tape, adhesive transfer tape, duct tape, foam tape, electrical tape, filament tape, foil tape, reflective tape.
And the tape just keeps on rolling. Visit us online today at www.protapes.com or call us at 800-345-0234. Pro Tapes, it's just how we roll.
Welcome to another fantastic episode of the Entrepreneur Enclave, Life's Coming Attraction. I am your host, Kevin Wortham. Man, I am so excited. One of my former students, he's my inspiration now. Quaysean, welcome to the platform, man. What's going on, man?
Hey, how's it going, Kevin? How's it going, Mr. Wortham? So thankful to be here.
Listen, I am so glad to have you here. So, in full disclosure, the first time we did a taping, that episode does not exist. And I guess in some way that's even better because now we can spend more time just really talking and I can give you the platform and we can really talk about the unabridged Quaysean. Who is he and how great have you become? So as I was prepping this conversation in my mind, you have this, and I'm going to mess this up. You have this signature growl or roar or what's that called?
Well, it could be like it's a is that what you're talking about?
Yeah. So let's open up the conversation with one of them. I can't do that. I won't do that, but we're gonna let you do that. You open up the show with one of those. Okay, go ahead. Talk to me.
All right. What's going on, guys?
Yeah. I like that. All right. So listen, I am always following you on Facebook. You are my inspiration. I want to say happy birthday. Are you a Gemini?
I am a Gemini.
I think we spoke about that. That's right. Yes, because I'm May 25th and you are June 17th, right?
11th.
June 11th. Yeah. Okay, I'm sorry. Yeah. That's fantastic. Okay. That's fantastic. So I see the creative spirit in you, man. It's creative personality. So we've got a lot to cover, but let's go back to the beginning. How did we meet?
Well, we met 2003 when I was a young lad.
Yeah.
When I first heard about the MOB program, the Minor Business program,
yes,
from my older cousins who went every summer, yes, and I wasn't able to because I wasn't old enough at the time.
Yes,
and always wanted to. So when I got the opportunity to go to this program, I wasted no time signing up, and it was it was literally an eye opener, and it kind of gave me a leeway into what I wanted to do when I grew up. You know, we always, as kids, always had that, when I grow up,
yes,
what I wanted to be. I really personally didn't have that.
Yes.
Specifically because of my injury. I didn't know there wasn't many things that I felt like I could do because a lot of things required two arms and my injury only allowed me to use one. So when entrepreneurship was introduced to me through the MOB program, I knew then that there was possibilities for anything to be my career path.
And
So that's how we met. That's how I met you.
Let me stop you, because every time you say injury, I'm trying to think, when you were in the program, I never noticed that. So how did you hide this injury?
Well, that was actually around the time when I was hiding this injury. I was hiding it purposely. Like, that was my intention, for people not to see it. And that was the time in my life where I was wearing like long sleeve shirts and things like that. And it was and it was in the summertime, so I know probably people were like, "What is he doing wearing a long sleeve shirt?" But that was that time, that era of hiding.
but you know what though? It wasn't until years later. I mean, I think you might have been almost an adult that it just caught me like, well, what injury? I never never paid attention to it. But man, so so the injury that you have, can we talk about it?
Sure.
Okay. What type of injury is it that you have?
So the injury that I have, I just found out in 2018. The technical term for it is brachial plexus injury, and the injury that I have, it is a nerve injury where my nerves were damaged during birth.
Yes.
In my neck and in my shoulder area.
Yes.
And it limits the movement and the mobility of my left arm, and my fingers not being able to work the same way as my right arm, and it also affects the feeling and sensation in my left arm.
Yes.
And it also has altered the physical form of my left arm. So it's not exactly the same as my right arm. It's smaller and things like that. Yep.
Okay. So, but guess what? That hasn't stopped you though, right?
No. I mean, and the reason why I feel like it hasn't stopped me is because I didn't know my whole life. I didn't know what it was. Yes. I didn't know so there wasn't anything, because I didn't know the technical term of it. I didn't know limitations. I didn't know side effects. I didn't know long-term effects. I didn't know any of it. So there wasn't anything stopping me in a sense. So that's why I kind of had the spirit of just, okay, as long as I don't hurt myself, I'm going to do it.
Now, the next question, Quaysean, and this is personal. Did folks tease you because of your arm?
Yeah, it's more so in grade, like in elementary school.
Yes.
You know, kids, when kids see someone or something that's strange or not normal to them, they're going to, out of curiosity, either stare or ask questions, and then you're going to have some kids who are just jokesters or outright mean at the time, and that's what I experienced. I experienced that in elementary school, a little bit of it in middle school, not as much in high school, because at that when I got into high school, pretty much everyone knew who I was already, and they already knew, my arm, and it wasn't like it wasn't, I didn't have to deal with that. But in elementary school, for sure, it was definitely a lot of teasing that occurred.
Did the teasing have an adverse effect on you, or you didn't allow it to affect you?
No, it definitely took a toll on my confidence and my self-esteem.
Gotcha.
Because I was already feeling like I didn't fit in. I didn't, didn't equate to the normal life of everyone else.
Yes.
So when people pointed out the very thing that I hated at the time.
Yes.
Oh yeah, it made me feel low.
Wow.
Very
low. Okay.
Yeah.
So you're in the Minding Our Business program.
Yes.
Now you're feeling accomplished. And what's the first thing that you gravitate towards while you're in the Minding Our Business program?
Going to New York City.
Okay. And so
going to New York City.
No, I'm gonna say. So, what was so fascinating about going to New York City?
It was going to New York City and being able to buy product.
Got you.
And having the ability to pick any product that I wanted. It wasn't a limit. It wasn't a type of thing. It was whatever we decided that we believed in.
Yes.
We could sell, because whatever we decide, we had to sell it in order to make money. That was the purpose of becoming an entrepreneur and being a part of the MOB program. So just being able to go to New York, I've never been to New York City before. So that was my first time ever. going to New York City.
And
now I'm in New York every day.
Yeah. I was about to say, now you're all over the country every day. Like, oh boy. So what was the first item that you brought, Quaysean?
I borrowed a pair. I think it was wow. I think it was sunglasses.
Okay.
Because they had sunglasses and they had them in every color, and we went to the wholesale district, so I was able to get multiple colors. And I think the first batch that I bought, I probably wore half the box because it was so cool. So I kind of.
Now it's so funny. I want you to. So you would buy the sunglasses or the product wholesale. You would mark them up, and then you would then go back the next week, 2 weeks later.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think that's what it. Yeah, I think that's what it was. Yep.
And
that's what it was.
And it's so interesting. The simple act of being consistent, right? I just had another guest on, Rick Forman, who is
Rick. I remember Rick.
Yeah, who is the creator of Forman Mills.
Yes.
And he did something. He did something that wasn't sexy, right?
Mm-hmm.
And what he did was he went back maybe once a week to the wholesale district, and he just bought T-shirts over and over and over again. And then some years later, he had 44 stores.
Wow.
And so I say that to say this, that anyone listening to this, it's not about being the smartest one. It's about being consistent and replicating the process over and over again until the point you become successful.
Absolutely.
So we did that for you. And then where did the designing and the sewing and that part come into? When did that come about?
So that portion of my life as a designer came to me. Like, I always, when people ask about my experience or my journey to becoming a designer, I always say fashion found me.
Yes. Because
I wasn't aspiring to become a fashion designer as a kid or anything like that. It wasn't until I was graduating high school.
Yes.
I produced a fashion show for Boys and Girls Club for the kids, me and some of the coworkers. And the show was a success.
Yes.
And people requested that we did it. We did the show again. So we did the show about two more times that year.
Yes.
And for me, that was like the first time where I felt people appreciated the work that I did and not paying attention to my arm. And I knew then that, and I was also really embedded in the whole process of the show and creating and the outfits and styling and everything like that. So I knew that was an interest for me. Yes. And I really enjoyed it, and it didn't necessarily require me to have two arms to do it.
Yes.
So I said, I'm gonna keep at it. So I went to produce my own fashion shows in the city of Trenton, about 2009. I was in college at the time.
Is that the first one you did at the hotel?
Yes, that was the first one I did at the hotel.
Yeah, I got pictures, man. I think the other day I posted some of those pictures on the Minding Our Business page. Man, I meant to tag you in it. That was incredible, because I think that was for me, right? That was super duper professional, beyond what I could even imagine. But I was so proud of you, man. But good. I'm sorry.
Thank you. It really was. It was a lot of work.
Yeah.
But it was worth it. But doing those shows.
Now, did the models wear your some of the pieces that you had produced?
Not at the time. So what it was, I would take like sunglasses. I would take different things, and I would put rhinestones on. I would DIY things just to kind of make it. I wanted pieces when people seen it come down the runway. I didn't want it to be like, oh, you got that from a certain store or the mall. I wanted it to be, oh, what's that?
Yeah.
So that's what I would do, just for entertainment purposes. And one designer, Tiffany Robinson of Concrete Rose, who I love, she happened to be in the audience of one of my shows, and she loved some of the eyewear that I created, and she asked if I could bring some of them to collaborate with her on her. She was a designer, and some of her work for a photo shoot that Saturday.
Yes.
One of those, that following week. And I said, yeah, and I had no product because that wasn't something that I was professionally doing. So me and my best friend, Willie, we went to Joann's and I bought a bunch of fabrics and he helped me get it all together. We created over 32 pieces. It was because it began to be fun to kind of just be creative, and that's definitely how my fashion design journey started.
Now, when you say create, what does that mean? That means you had to sew, you had to stitch?
So I wasn't sewing exactly at that time, so I would use glue. I use different types of adhesives.
Yes.
The glue gun, I use liquid stitch. I use different types of adhesives to cut up the fabric and paste them onto the eyewear that I was using or the shoes that I was designing.
Yes.
And making sure that they were functional, that you can actually open and close the glasses and you can see out of them. And so that's kind of how that was the beginning stages of my designing.
Well, now I want to stop you for a second. Now, the sponsor of the podcast is Ed Miller, who runs and owns Pro Tapes. And I think you might have met him as well, but he's got that two-sided sticky tape, right? So when
the double-sided tape.
Yeah, when those girls wear those scantily clad dresses and they need to hold them together, but you can't use any stitching, it's his tape.
Oh wow!
Yes.
Well, I might own some of that in my own house.
Yeah, so what would be funny, right?
Mm-hmm.
I would love, Ed, if you're listening, because I'm going to make sure you're listening. I would love for you to put together a fashion show, right? Using only duct tape, or using products that are held together with duct tape, and I know Ed through Pro Tapes would love this, man. So I want you to think about it. Let's collab on that, man.
Okay. All right, Pro Tape.
Yeah.
Cool.
So
that would be cool.
So the very first time you're using the adhesives, when did you teach yourself to sew? And did you think that was going to be difficult for you because you only had the one arm?
So that came about 2011 when I actually purchased a sewing machine, and one of my friend's grandmother taught me how to thread the machine.
Yes.
And she gave me some tips and lessons on how to sort of sew fabric through and how to hold it and everything like that.
Yes.
And I remember when I sewed my first dress independently, it fell apart. Nothing. And I was like, and I quit. And I was like, I can't do this. I'm not doing this because this is not working. Yes. So I put the sewing machine back away. And about 2 weeks later, I pulled it back out because something inside of me was like, try again.
Yes.
And at the time, I didn't know that was the resiliency that I had built up over the years, just trying to prove to myself that I could do normal stuff.
Yes.
So that's what that was. That kind of pushed me to pull the machine back out. So I pulled it back out, and I remember the process of threading, and I took my time with it, and I got a dress. It wasn't a perfect dress. It wasn't a great dress, but it was a dress that somebody could put on their body.
Yes. And
then that's when I knew that, okay, I just got to keep going, and I just had to keep learning. And that's what I did. I'm a learner. I love to learn.
Yes.
I love to collect data and information. So, and I knew that this was a source to make money as well. So it was imperative that I learn how to get good at this. But I didn't. It was times where it felt like, having Erb's palsy and not being able to use my left arm, that it would be different. I knew that it would be interesting in how I would create using only one hand.
Yes.
But then I guess at that time in my life, I had already experienced the doubt.
Yes.
To a higher degree, in a sense, whereas now it was time for me to just trust myself.
Yes.
I think sometimes the doubt came from certain customers or people around who would kind of doubt me because I was sewing with one arm.
Yes.
And I think I would allow their doubt to kind of rub off on me. And I wasn't aware of energy at the time.
Wait, Quaysean, that don't sound right. How could you allow their doubt to rub off on you when they were your customer? They were your customer.
That's because I consider myself an empathic individual who to kind of pick up energy. And sometimes when you are an empath, you can pick up energy and you absorb the energy if you're not aware of what the dynamics of the energy. And at the time, I wasn't aware of that. I wasn't aware that people's energies or feelings that sometimes I felt weren't mine. It was the other people's. And it worked a little bit because it made me focus more. It made me make sure I didn't mess up because I didn't want to prove them right in a sense. But as time went on, I developed my own sense of self.
Yes.
And like, oh well, you come to me for a reason because I know what I'm doing, and I know what I'm doing because I see the outcomes of what I do. So now, it's a different story now.
Oh, come on, man, come on. You're not going to let anybody.
Oh no.
Challenge your train of thought. So
absolutely not.
Now, at the time that you're teaching yourself to sew, you're at Mercer County Community College, right?
Yes.
And what was your major at that time?
So my major at that time at Mercer County was fashion merchandising. So I decided to do fashion merchandising because, again, the business side of it.
Yes.
And I knew it came from being a part of mine in our business. You always thought about how are you going to sell the product.
Yes.
And I knew that I needed to know how to sell whatever I created because you can create, but if you don't know how to market or sell it, you're just going to have a creation, and it's not, you're not going to really make money from it. So that's why I went in as a merchandiser, and then I took fashion design courses so that way I can still balance the two, business and the physical creation of fashion.
Now, one of the things that I want to share with the listening audience is that we've only had, up until that point, we had a middle school program. We were jumping back and forth with a high school program, but you were the very first business that we registered. I think once you turned 18 or 19, we registered your business as Manikin LLC, correct?
LLC. Yeah.
So to this day, because I'm so proud of you, I let folks know that minding our business first was what Manikin Design was the first business that minding our business registered. So and we, again, another shout out to Ed Adams, and there was a whole group of cohorts that came out behind it. I think Sydney Bell, which I found out was your cousin. You guys were related.
Yeah, she just sent me some Nefertiti earrings too.
Okay, and then I think it was Elijah Forman, and then I think the last one we registered, and I just had him on the podcast, was Andre McNair. So and you know what's so funny? You guys are like the superstars, right? I keep in touch with all you guys, but we were thinking about doing a reunion, just an informal reunion meet and greet, and so that we can talk about what do the next steps look like, and can we again identify and raise funds so that we can begin to train the next group or the next generation of young folks. So we're going to talk about that, but I'll keep you posted. So now,
please.
So now that you've finished Mercer County Community College, where do you go from there?
So after I complete Mercer County, I go to Montclair State University to obtain my bachelor's degree.
Now, why did you choose Montclair as opposed to like FIT or a school that was like really strong in the arts and strong in fashion and technology?
Well, I'm being candid here.
Okay,
I chose Montclair State first and foremost because it was in state, and it wasn't as expensive because the other schools were highly expensive to attend, and I was putting myself through college.
Gotcha.
So I didn't want, one thing I did not want to do was take out private loans.
Yes.
I didn't want to create that much debt for myself.
Yes.
So I researched Montclair State University, and I found out their fashion program was actually really good. So it was a blessing that there was a great fashion program in New Jersey.
Yes.
So and it was connected with Mercer County.
Yes.
So it was an easier process to get enrolled and complete the admissions process. And I'm so glad. I'm honestly very glad that I decided to go to Montclair State University. It was such an amazing experience.
Awesome. Now, so you finish Montclair. When are the superstars calling you? When do you know, like, Quaysean, I got it now. I'm on to something now. I'm on it. When does that happen, bro?
I mean, honestly, it was happening through the process of college. As I was in college, what a lot of people didn't know was, especially Montclair State, I would take 2 trains to school, two trains back home from school, and then I was up, and I would get home maybe 11 at night, and I was up sewing dresses for prom. I was sewing dresses for clients.
Yes.
And I would stay up to the early mornings, and then I would probably get like an hour or two of sleep, and then I'm right back up
Yes.
to head to my morning class at Montclair State. So I was always working as I was in school,
Yes.
because that's how even before I got into college, I was already designing for clients.
Yes.
And that's the reason why I went to school, because I wanted to get better at what I was doing.
Got you.
So they was kind of already calling me then,
Got you.
and it was just making it work while I was in school.
Now let me fast forward, but I certainly want to come back to that. I think, and I may be wrong, I think that this was your breakout year, because You think so? What'd you think?
I think so. I mean, just from the space that I'm in mentally,
Yeah.
and I'm in top of my game.
Yes,
you
sir.
know, as
Yes,
far
sir.
as just like how I approach things, how I feel about my craft, how I feel about myself, and and everything that I'm doing. It's a blessing,
Yes.
and everything that I've learned and I'm still learning is everything is full circling.
Yes.
You know, from over the years of just connections and working, putting in the work and trying out things, and everything this year has shown it's unbelievable.
Oh yeah.
It's unbelievable.
Now let me tell you why I think that this is your breakout year.
Yes.
So, you know, I'm on the porch, I'm scrolling through Facebook, and there was this trend where everybody had these long gowns, the women, you know, right? And and they would wrap it around their feet, and then sometimes the guy would stand on the gown.
Oh.
So I'm just scrolling through all the pictures, and these are from all over the country. Then all of a sudden, I'm starting to see some names of this picture that they're liking. So I said, let me click on this picture, and this was a red prom dress that you had designed with a long tail. And I was like, oh my God, that's my man. That's my man. That's Quaysean. And I mean, I could not contain myself. That was, and my apologies for saying this. That was like a proud papa moment for me. Like, damn, that's my man. I was like, yo, that's my, because I was seeing so much fashion, right? And again, don't take this the wrong way. These were people that had bigger names than you, but not for long. And all these pictures were all together. So as I'm scrolling through all these pictures, like, man, this is a new trend that people are standing on the gowns. And then all of a sudden I see this red dress that you did. And then I saw people that I knew from this area, you know, comment. I said, let me open this picture a little bit more. And I said, that's Quaysean. I said, wow, and I was, oh my God. That was, for me, I said, okay, my man has arrived. This is his breakout year.
It really, yeah. I mean, first, that standing on the gown thing, I do not approve of that, because we worked hard. We worked hard to make those gowns look beautiful. And for people, I was like, get off of that dress. Yeah. Nah.
Because, you know,
I agree with
the very first one, and so where does that trend come from where the gown was so long? Was that someone larger in the industry who did that, and that kind of trickles down to like the high school prom? But where did that trend come from?
I would have to say for prom in particular, I believe it was, you know, just when the celebrity kids start to go to prom.
Yes.
They have more access, and they have, you know, more access to like different designers and things like that. And I think that once those kids started to wear these particular gowns that you would normally see at award shows,
yes,
to prom, it ignited this snowball effect of kids. Now when you go to prom, it's about looking like you're going to the Oscars or the BET Awards or the Grammys. And it just continues to elevate more and more. And now that we have social media, and now that kids are seeing other kids across the country, even in the world, wear elaborate gowns, it's inspiring them to either wear something more elaborate, or be just as elaborate. And it's been fun for me as a designer, because it allows me to learn new techniques. It allows me to tap in to my artistry a lot more because I personally love to create
Yes.
glamour fashion and
Yes.
couture garments. So
Yes.
this is right up my alley.
Yes.
And the prom girls, I mean, they don't play no games. They want
Yeah.
they want it to be just beautiful as if you were designing for Beyonce or designing for Sierra or something. So
And you know what I find not funny, but what I find interesting, right, is that I just lost my thought, but it'll come back to me because I was thinking about this too. Mark your calendar, Quaysean. 2025.
Okay.
2025. You will be designing something that will allow you to get at the Met Gala.
Yes.
Huh?
Yes.
We're going to speak that into existence, right?
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
So, because I know also you did a few prom gowns for some of the ladies in Philadelphia as well, right?
Yes. This was the first year where I actually expanded outside of the New Jersey area, and it was Philadelphia and North Carolina. So that was very exciting.
Now, how does that happen? Are they coming to a website, or are you going to their homes? How does that happen when you make these contacts? Because all these gowns are personalized, customized, right? So
Yes.
how do you guys, do you have a workshop that they come to? How do you get their measurements and how do you do the fittings?
Yeah, so I do have a studio where
Yes.
I schedule appointment based only.
Yes.
So I have thankfully all of the clients they are willing and able to travel to me.
Yes.
To get fitted, and that's an honor too because some people drive 45 minutes, 3 hours across
Wow.
country
What?
just to come to me. Yeah, and that further just confirms that I'm in the right. I'm doing what I'm supposed to do. I'm in the right lane.
Yes.
And I've done virtual. I've actually had 2 virtual consultations and design fittings online where I took measurements, and I've gotten so good where I can see the body.
Yes.
And I can know how to contour a garment to fit someone that I've not physically met.
Yes.
And it fits. So I've had that as well. But I personally enjoy the in-person process of it.
Yes.
Because I like to get to know my customers and what they like and their personality, so that way I can create a garment that fits their personality. That way they'll love it and they'll look their best and their most ultimate when they wear it. And in return, that will attract new people because they'll look so good that it will make people want to know, where did you get that? And then that's normally how a lot of my business comes, through word of mouth, which is one of the best marketing promotions. You know that.
Oh, absolutely. Now let me ask this question. So there's a prom starting in May, or the prom season is in May. When does the person reach out to you to begin the design?
Well, I mean, I would like to start October, November.
What?
But that's not normally the process. It could be January. I mean, if the prom is in May, sometimes people will reach out to you in April.
Okay.
People will try to, get you 2 weeks, 3 weeks before the prom.
Wow.
Yeah. But I prefer at least a few months out just because of scheduling and other garments that are not prom related or projects that I'm working on. Yeah.
Wow. I got so
and
many.
I do want to make
I
do want to make mention of Prom Scholar as well, because that's been a big part of prom season as well for me, is being able to be a part of Prom Scholar and help make deserving students' prom experience amazing. And my friend Shahida, she's so awesome at Prom Scholar and giving back to the Trenton area and surrounding areas as well. And it's a growing organization, so I'm very thankful to be a part.
Let's give her a shout out, and let's get her on the show too. Give her a shout out, Quay.
Yeah, shout out to my girl Shahida of Butterfly Ave and Shahida Textiles, and she is an amazing person who started Prom Scholar, who invited me and a few other designers, Alyssa, to be a part of what's going to continue to change lives in the Trenton area and seniors' lives all across the world. And the fact that she is such a a humble person, and I'm just grateful that I can use my skills and talents that God blessed me with
Yes.
to be able to bless someone else as I continue to be blessed. So shout out to my girl, Sheed. I love you.
Okay. Now I got to ask you a question, and we're gonna get back to this. Now you don't have to answer. You can plead the fifth on this one.
Okay.
As you get bigger, and you've got
Yeah.
people calling you from all over the world, where is your
Yeah.
studio going to be located?
Well, I mean,
I'm talking about your main studio, Quay.
I know. Oh, that's interesting. I'm not. I honestly not sure really, because it will really depend on what I'm looking to have at my main studio and what I'll need at my main studio. So I'm still working on that. So I can't even plead the fifth because I really don't know
Okay.
where I will obviously want to have multiple locations where I can provide services for people in different areas.
But I'm going to tell you something, Quay. I'm going to tell you something. You are, and don't take this the wrong way, you are so creative. You are so special. You are so eclectic that no matter where you were to set up your shop, they would come. You know the old saying, build it and they would come. You are that person. You are the it, right? That no matter where you were to be, they would come, they would seek you out, man. You listen, you've got the Midas touch, brother. That's all right. That's all right. Yes, sir.
I appreciate that.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And it's interesting that, because I've heard that from people who I like you and other people who I admire so much and who pours into me. And sometimes it's hard for me to see that sometimes. I'm not even gonna lie, just because I'm in the motion of it.
Yes.
And I'm always sometimes trying to like make sure, okay, am I doing this? I need to do that. I need to do that. I need to do that. I need to do this. Make sure this is right. Make sure this is working. There. Sometimes I have to physically stop myself to smell the roses.
Yes. And
to just appreciate where I come from and where I'm at without it being egotistical. You know what I mean? And I think that's important for any creative to be able to give themselves appreciation for what they've done without it feeling like they're big-headed.
Yeah.
Because I think it's healthy to be aware of how good you've gotten or how good you are, you know?
That's not you. You're not big-headed, are you?
No, I'm not. But you know, if normally, I mean, I'm not gonna lie. If you think about it, when they associate that sometimes with when you're like, oh, I'm good at what I do.
Yeah.
People sometimes assume that, oh, you think you're all of that.
Yeah.
And if you're not aware of the fact of who you are, then you can get caught up in that. That goes back to just knowing yourself and being in your own energy versus other people's opinions and thoughts. So that's all. But I know how to appreciate myself, and I'm very humble about it as well, and confident about it too. So
now talking about humbleness and appreciation, we're going to jump into this subject and come back. For your birthday, man, that piece that you did where you had your face on your was that a pantsuit?
It was okay. So it was a couple pieces. It was a bodysuit. It was high waist tight.
What?
It was gloves, and it was boot covers.
Wait. So you had. So how did you get your face on so many pieces of the clothing?
So I have a friend of mine, Ty, a company called He Artwork. So he's a graphic artist, and he always creates my my artwork. So I love comic books and I love cartoons, and I always wanted to have myself as a superhero. So I always create different art pieces of myself. So he did a lot of animations of me. And this year in particular was the year of self-love and self-appreciation for me.
Yes.
And I was like, what can I do to express that? And I had a few ideas of how I wanted to do my birthday photo shoot.
Okay.
And then I thought about, and then I was like, I seen someone from Drag Race that had their face on one of their garments.
Yes.
And I was like, I'm like, that would be perfect. But I want it like all over. Like, I really want to indulge in who I am and show love to me.
Yeah, to you. You
and
did
I'm like,
that.
I know. And I'm like, people are going to be like, oh my God, this boy, he loves himself. Okay, we know it. So.
But yo, that was, as they say, branding geniusness. Man, that was. And so you're on Facebook and Instagram, right? What about Twitter?
I'm on Twitter. I'm on TikTok.
Which platform is showing you the most love when you came out with that birthday outfit?
I mean, I can't even. Right now they're all competing with each other because it literally was a cause of frenzy. Everyone was gagging and going crazy over the fact that they're like, oh my God, you have your face all over yourself and it looks good. And it was like the hair, it was the makeup, it was the faces, it was this. So Instagram and Facebook for sure were the top.
Now, speaking of hair and makeup, let's give a shout out to your girl. Go ahead.
Yes, Taylor.
And matter of fact, I've got an episode of her dropping pretty soon as well. Yeah. So she does your hair and makeup, and what does that entail?
Well, she's my hairstylist. So I do my own makeup. Okay. I learned how to do my own makeup when the pandemic started in 2020. I started practicing doing my makeup.
Wait, hold up. Wait, hold up. Let me see if I understand this. So you sew with one arm.
Yes.
And you apply all of your makeup with one arm.
Yes.
Are you serious?
Yep, I do. I have some videos on TikTok too of me doing my makeup. Yep, I do a full glam as well. So like highlight, contour, lashes, eyeshadow, all of that stuff.
With one arm.
With one arm.
God, I got two arms and I can't even do that. That's all right, bro. Wow.
I mean, it was all. Yep, it came with this because I know as a brand,
yes,
you want to make sure that I'm in the world of beauty and fashion, so I always wanted to make sure that I was representing myself in the best way possible. So I knew doing makeup, and I love makeup. Okay, so why not learn it?
Okay, now I got another question. What's the normal day for you in terms of what you wear on your face in terms of makeup? What's a normal day for you?
A normal day if I'm meaning like not doing too much.
You home, you got to run some errands. You're going back and forth to the office. You just throw on some lotion and keep it going.
Wear makeup. Okay. Yeah, I have my skincare regimen. It's a 5 to 6 step skincare that I do daily.
Yes.
So I normally just do that just to make sure I only really wear makeup if I'm going out to an event or if I am doing like a photo shoot or something like that. But for the most part, I don't really wear makeup during like my off days.
Got you.
Yeah.
And then you know what just came to my mind, man? You got to help me, but there has to be a entrepreneur enclave or a Minding Our Business website, because there are so many young folks that through this podcast I'm connecting with that are doing legitimate businesses. There needs to be one centralized location as to where they can find all your services.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Right? Wouldn't that be cool?
Yeah, I think that would be cool. I mean, there's so, like you said, there's so many, especially who come from the Minding Our Business program as well, who are really excelling.
There's a young lady, Griana, right?
Yes, Griana. Hey, Griana.
Yeah, and I just interviewed her. She's got her own skincare line. She's out in L.A.
Yeah, yeah.
So I'm like, and you know what's so funny? When I'm talking to you guys, I mean, with you, I didn't know that she too was in the Minding Our Business program. So I'm like, wow, this is
That's
crazy.
Where I met her.
Yeah, I'm like, this is crazy. This is crazy. So we're going to talk about that, man. But the other thing I want to share with you before I let you continue, I was talking to Andre the other day, and I was talking about putting the MOB show on the road. where I would get guys like you and Quaysean, not you, you're Quaysean, you and a few other people and Andre, and we would just travel around the country, and you guys could talk your story as like a panel discussion. And then I would come behind you guys and we would do the nuts and bolts as to what you guys were learning as to how you became who you are. So we were thinking about that too. So we got a lot of traction of thought for that, but that's something that we're going to start to plan as well. But that's it.
Okay.
Yeah. So
right.
So now when you got to put the full makeup on, right? The full makeup. That's the hair and the nails and the eyelashes. You can do all that yourself.
Well, not the nails.
Okay.
I normally I have a nail tech that I go to get like my French manicures and stuff like that.
Gotcha.
But when it's time to transform or it's time for me to turn into Manikin, as I like to say, I'll do my full face of makeup. My hair will be, Taylor will maybe come and do like a really dramatic braid, or she'll do something to the hair, and then I'll obviously get the wardrobe together. And
so Manikin is your alter ego, or what is that?
Yeah, so it's a brand, and it's also my he's the fashion guy. Quaysean is who I am right now. I'm chilling. I got on a flannel shirt, and I like to just wear like my workout clothes all day, every day.
Gotcha.
If I could. Yeah. So Manikin's the glam side of me.
Okay, Manikin is the glam side, your alter ego, right? Okay, I got you.
Yeah.
and Quay is the business side.
Yeah, that's the Zen guy. That's
Okay.
That's the meditative guy. The guy who's
Got you. Now, so who are some of the people that you are designing for right now that we may know of? I mean, that they may know of. I don't know of anybody.
Right now?
Yeah.
Well, right now I haven't designed for as of recent. It hasn't been anyone in the industry as of yet. I've been doing so much with just like custom with like people for really it was prom and wedding season for me.
Yes.
So normally I'm locked in anyway for a few months. So this July, like coming up, is when I start to travel more and more. Like I'm getting ready to go to LA, back to LA and Atlanta.
Okay.
Where I make those connections. So I'll usually like to do that as much as possible. But I have worked with like Trina. I designed shoes for her. She's a female rapper.
Wait. You said shoes?
Shoes, yeah. I designed shoes for Trina.
Wait. You do shoes too now?
I started out doing shoes. Before I started sewing clothing, I was designing sunglasses and the shoes to match.
Oh no, I remember the sunglasses. I don't remember the shoes.
Yeah, I had a whole collection called magazine shoes where I would take cut up magazines, like photos from the magazine, and I would put them. Yeah. So she actually was the first celebrity to wear a pair of those for a music video.
Yes.
And
and you know what?
And
now it's coming back to me. Because I got one for you. You don't remember this one. This was about 12 years ago, right? I brought you that. I brought you that cigar box because they were designing purses out of cigar boxes.
Yes.
And
I remember that.
And I said, Quay, you got to jump on this, right? And I obviously you never did, but man, that still would be hot for you, bro. That still would be hot, man. Because the box is only. Yeah, go ahead. Mm-hmm.
No, go ahead. Finish.
No, I'm going to say the box is only $2. And then you putting your touch on it, man. It could be $200, $300, $400, $500 box. I mean, purse. Yeah. I'm sorry. Man, listen. Once we get off this call, man, we've got so much to talk about, man. You a Gemini, I'm a Gemini. Please, I know nothing about fashion, but I got a good sense. And you know everything about fashion. We can make this work. Some T-shirts, some cigar purses, boxes, whatever you want to call them, man. That's all right. I remember now. I remember the shoes now. Okay.
Yeah. So, but I mean, I'm always out working and networking, and I know the right timing will come for me to And I mean, I have done some things. I just can't really speak on them yet.
Understood.
So, but they are great and amazing. So when I'm right, I'll do this.
But this will be, when you're allowed to, let this be the second place you come to kind of get the word out. Yeah. Now, hey, listen. Where is the hottest place for fashion now? Is it New York? Is it Philadelphia? Is it LA? Where is that now?
It's wherever. It's everywhere. Okay. Honestly, it's because I mean, you have fashionistas and you have influencers everywhere now.
Okay.
So fashion wherever you want it to be at. Honestly, it's where fashion is hottest wherever I'm at. So
gotcha. I like that. Hot fashion wherever you are. So, but I'm listening.
Yeah, exactly.
But because you travel like all across the country now, is there one particular style or a way of dressing or a way of creating that stands out? Because sometimes something on the East Coast may not fly on the West Coast and vice versa. How do you get past all of that?
Well, I don't necessarily. You mean me personally in my personal style or something?
No, I'm talking about when you have to design something for someone and they come from those different parts. How do you say to them that, if you're on the East Coast, that may not fly on the West Coast? How do you get that style out?
Okay. Well, I mean, I haven't really experienced that with a customer. I've experienced that honestly with myself.
Yes.
Because I had created a bandana. I took bandanas and I created, and it's on my Instagram and TikTok. Yes. I created an outfit out of bandanas. And over here on the East Coast, it's okay to wear the bandana look and things like that. But I remember when I went to LA and I was on Melrose and I had on my bandana pants and I was terrified because I'm like, I'm not in the gang. I don't want people to think that I'm even though the colors weren't associated. They were pink and yellow and orange, but I didn't know if they were associated with a certain group of people.
Yes.
So that was the only experience where I was like, okay, when it comes to like the bandana style clothing, you have to be mindful, especially on the West Coast, of where you wear, what are you wearing and how you wearing it and what colors and things like that. So that was the only time where I personally experienced that.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. So now, and again, you complete the fifth. West Coast, East Coast. Where do you prefer?
I love the West Coast. I think everyone knows this already. You already know that I love the West Coast. LA is, I love LA.
Okay. Now, I got a hot spot for you too now. Are you ready for this one?
Uh-huh.
You got to go to Vegas, man.
Oh, I've been to Vegas.
No,
I've been to Vegas. I went to.
No, I'm talking about you got to set up shop there, man.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Not to visit, but I'm talking about to set up shop. Yeah. I
have to traveling to do.
Yeah, I think that's going to be the next, because they've got a professional football team there now. I think that's going to be the next fashion, like the small fashion mecca, because they're going to start to do more fashion shows there, because you've got a football team there now, and they bring in a lot of celebrities. So I think you're going to start to see a lot more events there. I think you need to set up a small office there.
Okay, I'll definitely put that in my note.
Yeah.
Definitely put that in my note.
So
because I love the West Coast.
Yeah. Because I mean, your industry is moving so fast, man. I just got to ask you this: where are you 2 years from now, man? We're looking at a crystal ball, Quaysean. Where are you 2 years from now, man?
2 years from now, I am running. I'm running to my offices with my team of designers. We are in the process of creating our next collection that's going to be debuting in Milan, in Paris. And I am also sending out orders all across the world, honestly, with Manikin products.
Okay.
And in my official Manikin location, wherever that is.
Yes.
In a few places. But really having Manikin as a full-fledged business in a way where I have my design, I have my own in-house design team, marketing team, and fabric vendors and things like that, where things are being actually created, and I'm doing test fits and sample fittings and designing for TV and film.
Whoa, okay.
These are things that I would love that will be on my calendar and my schedules for the weeks is, okay, well, we have to design this garment for this movie, things like that. And this client's going on this red carpet, and, you know, we have this dress to make for this wedding, things like that.
Okay. And that's,
Those
and that's 2 years from now.
That's 2 years. It's not a year from now.
Whoa. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. Now,
Yeah.
how important is keeping yourself motivated through this journey, throughout your journey? How important was keeping yourself motivated?
It's very, like, being motivated.
Yes.
Is very important. And sometimes being motivated is me actually sitting down.
Okay. You mean sitting down, just not doing anything?
Yeah, it's not doing anything.
Gotcha.
It may sound weird, but if I'm continuously moving and moving and moving, you can experience burnout.
Yes.
And sometimes I get the most motivated when I'm actually sitting still, because I actually can allow myself to think, and I can allow myself to process.
Gotcha.
And for the ideas and the thoughts that come into my head. But staying motivated, and however it works, motivation is different for everybody. For me, it's having a sense of peace.
Yes.
Through my process.
What has been like some of your greatest challenges that you had to overcome, or just challenges?
Well, one of my greatest challenges is definitely self-doubt.
Okay.
That I had to overcome.
Okay.
And just trusting myself was one of the biggest things, because I told myself so many stories about my abilities and who I was.
Yes.
From a kid, and it was, you know, from a child all the way up into adulthood. That's many, many, many years of repetition of things that I was saying. So to unlearn those things,
yes,
and to remember who I am, and remember my greatness, and remember all of that, that was a big challenge for me. And I had to really cultivate my own way of thinking daily. Yes. To make sure that I stay in alignment with who I wanted to be and who I really truly was.
Okay.
So that was one of the biggest things. And also is staying true to myself.
Yes.
Is a challenge, because with social media, it's so easy to get caught up in the trends of everyone else and what everyone else is doing. And if you get so caught up in it, you'll forget who you are and what it is that you're trying to do. So I always make sure I remember what my goals are and who I am as a designer and as a person. And remember that my story is just as important as someone else's story that may be bigger than mine or may have more impact. My story is still just as important. So just make sure I maintain my presence in that.
And on that one, Quay, I gotta disagree. I mean, you are a large influencer, so how could you get caught up into somebody else's drag?
You'll get surprised. I mean, even people who are big. I'm not saying I do it, but I can see how it can be done, because I'm on social media. And the social media does birth comparison. It does make you, when you see things, because social media shows people's highlight reels of their life, like for the most part, all of the great things. And when things aren't always going great, and you click on these apps, and you see everyone living the life, quote unquote, you know, it could take an effect on you. And I've heard from other people, and I've talked to so many different people. And their experiences of how, if things aren't going necessarily the best in their lives, and they see other people that can make them feel bad about themselves, or they can make them want to, like, let me do it like this. They'll do it the way they're doing it, because if they're doing it like this and it's working for them, and it'll work for me, not realizing that what they're doing is working for them because of however they cultivated that. That doesn't mean it's going to work the same for that person that's trying to emulate that. Okay. And sometimes it does, but you know, what I had to learn was my story and my journey is mine.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I think my injury honestly kept me in that realm, because I had to, like, it was no way for me to think that I was like everyone else, because I always had a reminder that I was different. Now, and I just kind of kept that as an anchor.
Now, going back to your injury, where did you just come from?
I just came back from the United Brachial Plexus Network camp. So it's UBPN. Yes. It was a camp that is that celebrates and teaches people with BPI, which is
Yes.
the short term for the injury,
Yes.
about life skills. It teaches them about the resources that's available. And what I really love about this camp is that it brings community to
Yes.
people with this injury, and that's something that I've never had
Yes.
growing up because I was always the only one.
Yes.
And just being at this camp was just so surreal to me. I remember pinching myself and just not physically, but like figuratively,
Yes.
like, wow, I'm seeing kids run around and their arms are like mine and they're
Yes.
having fun and they're playing with other kids that are just
Yes.
with the same injury as them. And I'm like, wow, I remember like my childhood self is kind of smiling and
Yes.
warm inside because I'm wow, I wish that was me. But I know how, if I had that, how I would have felt. So the fact that the kids are getting that at this early age
Yes.
and also seeing other adults who are doing magnificent things
Yes.
with the same injury, I'm like, the kids of this next generation, are they going to be so elevated?
Yeah. Now.
So that was very happy.
Where was this camp held, Quay?
It was in Colorado. It was in
Nice.
Estes Park. It was in the mountains.
Yes.
It was definitely in Denver, Colorado, though.
And see, this is
Yeah.
see how I brought you back. So with the things that you're doing, the blessings that you are receiving, how could you get caught up into anybody else's trend? You are your own trendsetter, man. That's why I'm so proud of you, man. Come on now.
Thank you.
That's
Thank
what
you. I appreciate it.
Come on, man. Come on. That's what I'm saying. You are setting the trend, right? You are setting the
Yep.
tone. There are so many folks that are looking up to you. So I don't think you're going to get caught up in anybody else's wash because I think that you're grounded. I think you know exactly what you're doing. Now,
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I agree.
okay, so having said that, do you have any regrets in terms of this journey that you've done thus far? This journey.
No. And I ask myself that all the time.
Yes.
Well, whenever I do assess my life and the things that I've done, I'm like, is there anything? And honestly, there's no regrets because I don't even regret, even though it wasn't my fault of
Yes.
this injury. I don't even regret having this injury now
Yes.
because I look at what I thought was a curse as a blessing.
Yes.
This, like, having this injury has awakened my spirit of who I am as even resiliency and
Yes.
uniqueness at an early age.
Yes.
It started to cultivate that so early on, and I'm so thankful because now I can walk in my true identity and I can
Yes.
walk in who I am. I can love it, and that's true power to me.
Yes.
So I get to walk in my power all the time, and it's because of this injury. So I don't have any regrets, and all of the things that failed was, as a super entrepreneur like yourself and as a master entrepreneur, failure is key to success.
Yes.
So I always invite failure because I know that in those moments when you have to regroup and those learning moments, that's where success is breeded. So there's no regrets. I mean, we got one life to live. I'm
Absolutely.
thankful to be here.
Yes.
So there's no regrets. I'm thankful for every experience that I've had
Now, Quay, with the
and
time,
will have.
I'm sorry. With the time that we have left, let's just play this quick game. You ready?
Okay.
if someone had to do a film about you, a movie about you, right?
Okay.
Who would play you in the movie?
Who would play me in the movie?
Yes, who would play you in the movie?
Like a known actor or just in?
It could be in general. In general, who would play you in the movie?
I mean, my nephew. I would have to say my nephew right now. My nephew Xavier.
Okay.
He probably gonna see this and be like, man, why you say my name? He's 11 years old right now. He's like, that's my boy.
Okay.
He's. I feel like he would. I would love him, like, especially play like my earlier years.
Got you.
Because we kind of similar. We look alike, first of all. So.
Got you.
And I think that he would. I talked to him a lot about my arm and.
Yes.
His experiences and things like that. So I think it would be great. Adult, I don't know. I mean, it was because I'm so unique. Like my aesthetic, the way I look,
yes,
is so unique. I don't know who else would, like, especially in my adult years.
Okay.
Who I would get to kind of play.
That's fair enough, man. So you know that this may come up as a question someplace else. So be prepared to answer it. Like, who would play me in this movie?
I need to learn some people's names because I'm like, I know their faces, but a lot of there's so many people. So that's a good question.
Now, continuing to have some fun, where would
Mm-hmm.
be your best location to do a movie?
My personal
Yep.
to what kind of movie? You mean like my life movie or just a movie in general?
Just to do
Or
a movie in general. Where would be the best location for you?
that's interesting. I would have to say. I mean, I'm into sci-fi and
Okay.
horror, but street movies. So I would have to say New York.
Okay, New York.
Because I
Okay.
think there's elements.
Okay.
New York City area, yeah.
Here we go again.
Now and also
Mhm, go ahead.
also Colorado area.
Okay, got you. Because you've been out there now. Got you. I can see that.
Yeah, I'm like, I'm used to that. Yep.
And here's the next one, right?
Mhm.
Who would you like to design an outfit for? Who would be like your the quintessential, like the peak at your highest point of arrival that you would love to design
Beyonce.
for? For who?
Beyonce Giselle Knowles Carter.
Why her?
I mean, I've been inspired by Beyonce since I was a kid. Like,
Okay.
I remember having Beyonce when she was with Destiny Child, when she had her solo album.
Yes.
I remember playing her CD over and over again. I would have the headphones in. That's when we had the CD player,
Yes.
and I would just sit in my room, play her songs over and over again, and I would like
Okay.
perform them as if I was her.
Okay.
Because I'm an entertainer first. Like,
Okay.
I love the stage. I love to perform. So Beyonce, I mean, she represents power, and she
Yes.
represents femininity as well
Yes.
as masculine energy, and that's something that I exude. I exude both feminine and masculine energy,
Okay.
and she does that so well. And she's excellent at her craft because she
Okay.
works on it. She knows that there's always room for improvement. So she just inspires me so much.
Okay.
I love her.
So you would love to design. So once you've designed for her, you figure you're at the top.
Oh, when I designed for Beyonce,
Yes.
it's I'm like, oh yeah, I designed for Beyonce. Everyone's gonna know it. Everyone's gonna know it.
Got you. No. So
Yeah.
with the time we have left, bro, any other shout outs that you want to give to anyone, man? Because I certainly do appreciate you taking the time out for this one.
Oh yeah, I want to give first and foremost give a shout out to the Most High, to God, for everything that I have,
Yes.
everything that I am, and my hometown, Trenton, New Jersey. I love where I'm from. I love the
Yes.
people there. The love is so real. People ask me all the time about my hometown and the support, and I'm like, what? Trenton is. They got my back, and I got their back. I'm rep Trenton everywhere I go,
Yes.
and my family, and my friends, and all my mentors, you, Chandra,
Yes.
Tracy Reese,
Yes.
the whole CFDA who supports me, and my client. I mean, who would you be without the client?
Where can you be out the
I love
clients?
you
Yes.
guys.
Yes.
Listen, I wouldn't be where I was at without the support and for them trusting me and continuously pushing allow me to push my craft to become better. You know.
Absolutely.
And to the people out there who I get emails and text messages from
Yes.
and DMs of how they are motivated by me just being me
Yes.
and continuously reminding me of my purpose here on earth, and that motivates me to continue to be me as I step into the world.
Awesome. Awesome. Quaysean, listen, I love you. You have been fantastic, man. Listen, I am so proud of you. I tell you, I always have my proud papa moments when I'm seeing you on Facebook. I'm like, man, he is doing his thing. That's all right. So we're gonna stay connected, and we're gonna.
And I'm proud of you too.
Thank you.
I see all the people that you're interviewing, and it's so amazing. And you have changed so many lives, and you've instilled so many great values into me and to so many people in the Trent area and the Mercer County area in general. And it's just I'm just thankful that you guys and Dr. Hernandez, you guys
Yes.
took the time to cultivate a program
Yes.
that instilled the necessary skill sets that we need to survive and thrive especially in an urban city community
Yes.
where years and years later it's still a benefit. So just know that you're appreciated and loved, and it's MOB forever.
Thank you. Hey, listen, that might be a shirt too. That might be a shirt. We're gonna talk offline.
There you go.
But yeah, we are. I am particularly humbled by your kind words, and this is the impetus as to why I continue to do what I do. But now that you guys are getting older, we want to certainly create the energy to do this on a national level, that we can encourage and inspire more folks to think like you and to overcome challenges like you, right? Because, man, think about this. For every person that's facing a challenge, right, there is someone in the program that had to overcome such. And if there's some way that we could create a national platform that we could share our stories, do you know how many lives exponentially we could change and ask them to be better, because you are encouraging them to be better?
Yep.
I want you to think about that. But we're gonna talk offline. But man, love you. Keep up the good work. Man, I'm so proud of you, man. So proud of you. And you know, I tell you, I got to go back to the guy who helped you with your face all over your clothes. That was your birthday piece, right?
Yes, that was my birthday. Yeah, that was my birthday.
That was a great piece. I don't know if I can wear my face over. I don't know if I can have my face all over my body, but only you can pull that off, Quay. So thank you, brother. Listen, I need you to do me a favor. Take us out with your signature roar.
Oh, okay.
Hey, you know what? I know what. You know what? I think I've got a taping, right? I gotta go back and find it. We were somewhere. You were doing a little rap. You remember that rap you did?
I don't remember. I think so.
It was one boy, hood boy, something like that.
Oh, I'm that glamour boy. I think it was that one.
Yeah. Do you know that?
Yeah, I know that. I wrote it. I know it.
Okay. You need some music for that?
You want me to rap it? You want me? Oh my God!
Give us some.
All right, I'll give you a couple. I'll give you a couple bars.
Show your diversity. Yeah, go ahead.
Gotcha. I'm that glamour boy. When I walk in, all eyes on me, they cannot stand it, boy. The way your hands all on me, got them ready to spin that coin. All that cash all on me, the CEO like Anna Winter, got couture on my body. Okay. Is that good?
That's good. Hey, listen, this is a platform for you, man. I'm trying to promote you being multi-talented, huh?
Yeah, I appreciate that.
You know, I've got two skill sets: smoking and talking. That's it. But you've got multiple, so I'm trying to allow you to express yours, right? Right.
Yes. That song is called Qaysean.
Yes.
I'm a feature on there the song is by Sonny McCoy, and it's featuring Manikin. So you guys can find that on YouTube. The video is out.
Hey,
and
listen,
it's on Apple Music.
Send me the YouTube link, and I'll put that on my page.
Okay, perfect. I'll send that to you now. Yep.
All right. So once we finish this conversation, I'm going to call you back in 5 minutes. I got some other things I want to run past you, and then we'll take it from there.
Okay, perfect.
All right, brother. Sean, thank you, man.
Okay.
Thanks, and bye-bye.
That concludes another episode of The Entrepreneurial Enclave with Kevin Wortham, the podcast that focuses on building, maintaining, pivoting, planning, and investing in you, the entrepreneur. We hope you found this episode informative and enlightening. If you have any questions or comments about any of our episodes, please call 609-731-9311 or email kevin@minding-our-business.com. We look forward to joining us for our next one. Until next time.